Yo, what up, y'all? So I'm here to talk about how I beat my DUI. So I got locked up, and this was actually my second DUI, and they pulled me over. Right, I was driving down the street, and it was like around 1:30 in the morning. Around let out time. I was driving past this bar, and this cop that was parked by the bar waiting for the let out so he can lock people up for driving drunk was sitting there waiting. And when I passed by him, he got behind me and he pulled me over, right? So he says to me that I'm getting pulled over because I have a busted brake light. So I'm like, all right, cool, busted brake light. So, he did what all cops do. I smell weed. So, yo, have you been smoking weed, right? Now, me not thinking nothing, thinking like, smoking weed, it ain't nothing major. I'm like, yeah, I smoked weed earlier in the daytime. So, they pulled me out the car and they locked me up for a DUI just for that. They didn't find any weed. They didn't find anything at all. So they locked me up basically because I had blood, I had bloodshot eyes. And actually, that was like my first time smoking again after I had quit. I had quit smoking, and then I don't know, maybe let's say 6 months later, I start smoking again, and then that first day when I smoked, that happened. I got pulled over, so my eyes was really really red, even though I smoked earlier in the daytime, because I was like fresh again from smoking. So I went to court. Right? Mind you, I didn't get no lawyer. I fought this case with a public defender, and this is my second DUI now I'm fighting. I'm fighting my second DUI. I already got a DUI from before in my early 20s, and I was convicted of that DUI. So now I'm fighting my second charge. So let me tell you how I beat this John. So we going to court, right? I'm doing this with a public defender. So throughout the whole, and it took me a year and a half to beat the case. So throughout this whole year and a half, if y'all know the court system, you basically have a court date like every month. Like if you go to court today, your next court date is going to be probably 4 weeks from now, maybe 5 weeks or 3 weeks, in that range. So I was going to court for a year and a half, right? With different public public defenders. And towards the end, the way I beat the case was, well, one of the, strategies, how I beat the case was that we was patient. Like, if we knew that we had a bad judge, if we knew that we had a judge that wasn't going to lean towards us, we would motion for give us another court date, because we trying to get a good judge. We want a judge that's going to side with us. So for a long time, we just kept switching judges for like about 2 or 3. I'm gonna say about 3 or 4 months maybe. We kept switching judges because we was trying to get a good judge for us. So I kept going to court. I ain't stressed the situation. So when trial finally came, right, and these cops, they was lying. They made a bunch of nonsense and all that. But the way I beat the case was on this technicality. They said that they pulled me over for a busted brake light, and now you're locking me up for a DUI, right? And I'm not showing any signs of driving under the influence. Like, I wasn't swerving. I wasn't dipping in and out the lane, driving too fast, driving too slow. I wasn't doing none of that. So I beat the case on that technicality, So and also the crazy thing about that was when I got locked up, if y'all from Pennsylvania or from Philly, you know, out here, if they lock you up for a DUI, when they take you to the precinct, you know, they make you take a chemical test, a blood test, and all that, to see how much under the influence, you know, you really are in. And if you refuse to do this test, they automatically suspend your license for a year. Is it a year? Yeah, it's a year. So you know me, I was mad when they locked me up. So of course I'm fighting. I'm in the precinct arguing and, you know, fighting. I'm not cooperating. I'm pissed. I'm locked up. Like, you know, I'm not trying to hear nothing they talking about. So I refused the test, right? And they you know, they suspended my license for a year. And the crazy thing is, yeah, it took me a year and a half to beat the case. And, you know, by the time I beat the case, my license was still suspended because I was driving without a license. Now that my license is suspended, you know, I was driving without a license. So now I done added more years to my situation, you know, and now, you know what I mean? Like, even though I beat my case, you know, I still had to do, you know, I still couldn't reverse that part about the test. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I don't know if it worked out in my favor not getting that test, the chemical test, because, you know, they couldn't prove that I was under any influence because I didn't give them any proof, but it cost me my license, and I ended up losing my license for like 5 years because, you know, it kept adding up the years. I eventually just paid a lawyer to get my tickets thrown out, you know, get my license back, but that's another story. But yeah, man, it's you know, a DUI can definitely be beaten on a technicality, you know, and it can definitely be beaten with a public defender. I beat mine with a public defender, man. Listen, I was going to court while I had homies. I had homies that I knew that was going to court for the same thing, same charge, same attempt. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was like the second time, it was the same second DUI, just like me. The whole nine, everything, just like me, right? But the difference between me and these guys was, or this one homie of mine was that he had a lawyer. He paid a lawyer, and he lost his case, and he still lost his case. He lost it. He lost the case. I mean, and I went with a public defender, and I beat mine. Yeah, and that was great. That was great. I mean, that was a real good feeling. But, you know, if you done got jammed up, out here, man, you go to court, all I'm gonna say to you is, don't say you're guilty, man. Don't say you're guilty. Don't plead guilty. Not guilty, and fight it to the end. You ain't got nothing to lose. Fight it to the end. I was guilty, and I still pled not guilty, and I was found out guilty. You know, I was under the influence when I got pulled over, but I still beat my case on a technicality. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a little encouragement for all my people out here that just caught that DUI, and you think that it's about to get real for you. You know, it's not gonna be that bad, man. It's not gonna be that bad. I mean, every state has different laws. I'm just telling you what happened to me in Philly. Not giving y'all any advice, just telling y'all my story. So yeah, man, let me know any comments and questions, man, y'all got about that DUI situation. Let me know.